know what story she's doing right now. Everyone's everywhere right now.
That's awesome to say, Diego.
One, two, three. Oh. Wireless, auto. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Testing. I'm just gonna do right there. That should be good. Just in case a new producer is taking over, I just want to make sure they get your name right. If you can say your full name and then how to spell it.
Maribel Gardea, Maribelgardea.
And what are we doing here today?
Well, we are rallying so that the parents can show up in unity at the board meeting of Edgewood ISD.
And what exactly are y'all going against? I'm seeing some signs. It says the report card D-. I'm seeing account starts now. So exactly what's bringing y'all together?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot going on in Edgewood. There's a lot of injustice. There's a lot of lack of leadership, lack of accountability, and families are tired. They don't want this anymore. They want change. They're standing firm. They're actually demanding their resolution be adopted. They asked the superintendent to publicly confirm this at today's board meeting, so that is what's going to be telling today.
And then if you can tell me exactly why you're on this side and not at the board meeting.
Well, I'm over here because I still have a no trespassing on the district side. All my charges were dropped from the county, but the district remains to think that I trespassed even though I was an invited guest to speak at the public meeting. And so I'm respecting that, and I'm staying across the street where I can still be visible and they can hear me.
So normally when people get a trespassing, don't come, they kind of stay farther away. What did this do? Did this ignite anything to you to get everyone together?
Our schools! Our schools! Sorry, I got a chair. Our schools! Our schools! Dale, adelante la lucha. I got you. I'm gonna watch you. Entren fuerte. Lo que tú quieres de los dos. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna look. As you can see behind us, right? People are just ignited because they finally feel heard. We're opening that little crack in that gate that needed to be open. And whether my arrest did that or not, I do feel that really sparked some concern, because what happened to me can happen to them at any moment, and that's not something that's right. That this is a community school, this is a community business, because they do make money off of this, and we have the right to say and be a part of any decisions that this district has for our kids, especially if they're failing our kids.
Is there any last minute thing you want to add?
You know what? We're going to keep showing up until we hear some resolutions being done and some commitments to parents that are concrete. So I'll see you at the next one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Adelante.
also an opportunity to be selected. You know, just want to continue showing that, you know, the leadership and assisting, you know, where needed. So keep on doing that. Like, they don't know that attendance is a big thing. You know, attendance doesn't matter. It's a big thing to help them graduate, because if you don't get it done, it'll set you back. So I'd like to give them opportunities like, hey, you know, offer night school, Saturday school, you know, anything we can do to help them, or like, hey, you know, there's still a chance to bring an excuse. It's not too late. Let's do it. Let's get this done. I choose Edgewood because of the community, the vision that they have here, and everyone's like family. You know, ever since my first day, it's been very cool for me. That's why I choose Edgewood.
I chose Edgewood because I'm a product of Edgewood myself. My kids graduated from Edgewood, and I've always been in Edgewood at heart.
I choose Edgewood because it feels like home, where you can provide support, growth, and it comes all together to build a strong foundation from where it starts, from the beginning, from the middle to the end. It builds that foundation for the kids so they can finish with that. And when they graduate, they build their own foundation with their lives and with their families.
Like family. Everyone treats each other like family. They're like, you know, my kids have been too. You know, like, I've lived in this area for 12 years and I love it. I actually don't see myself moving away from here.
Let's get our leaders. Again, thank you for your professionalism, accountability, and the communication that you share with our EISD family. The annual Salsa Bowl brings together all EISD as we celebrate the rivalry between the Kennedy Rockets and the Memorial Minutemen. This year's matchup saw it all. Excited fans, great plays, and plenty of memorable moments. We'd like to recognize the Kennedy Rockets for their 49-21 win in the 2025 Salsa Bowl. Here on behalf of the Rockets, our team captains, Tristan Garado, Augustine Trevino, John Cantu, and Jonas Mendoza, and their coach, Matt Colvin. Let's give our football team another hand. Way to go. Before the football teams battled it out, EISD hosted the annual Salsa Cook-Off competition. 11 teams from EISD, including the Edgewood Lions Club, served up some of the spiciest and most savory salsas in town. But in the end, the team from Business and Finance took home the trophy as the Salsa Cook-Off champions. We want to make sure to thank our Fine Arts Academy group for their performance, the cosmetology students for providing face painting, and for the Memorial Culinary students for serving up sausage wraps. Now we'd like to invite 6 very talented artists to come forward, please. These students will have their artwork published and celebrate art. Keemer, thank you, Keemer, Sophia Garcia, and Arieli Pettit. Included in this honor is Sophie McElvain, Crystal Gomez, and Elias Vidura. We also want to thank and recognize our art teachers, Sandra Garcia, Alondra Garcia, and April Salazar. Thank you. Great job, everybody. EISD is grateful for our community partners and neighbors, including St. Mary's University. On August the 28th, St. Mary's volunteers and students dedicated their time to spruce up Loma Park Elementary School, enhancing the playground, the basketball court, and campus grounds to ensure a safe and welcoming environment for our students. We extend a heartfelt thank you to St. Mary's for generously giving their time and support. On Wednesday, September the 10th, Brentwood Steen School of Innovation opened its doors for a fall community fair. They invited community partners such as S.A. Hope, the Madonna Center, CPS Energy, University Hospital, and more to share information and to connect EISD families and community members. The Vikings cheerleaders were also on hand to keep the energy up and to help direct people around various tables at the event. Kudos to Principal Claudia Sanchez and all who had a hand in organizing such a meaningful event for our community. Football season is in full swing, and the award-winning Minutemen Read program has kicked off for the new school year. Student athletes from Memorial High School's football program travel to our elementary schools to read to young students. They spend time with young learners and encourage them to practice their reading. We're also so thankful for Coach Ortega's commitment to fostering relationships between our high school athletes and young students. We know that it inspires all of them to continue working hard and to reach their goals. Many EISD students have the supplies they need to create, build, and to learn, thanks to the generous donations of several community groups. Tonight, we'd like to say thank you to the South Texas Ford Truck Mafia for donating school supplies to Henry B. Gonzalez Elementary. We want to thank HEB for donating supplies to LBJ and to Loma Park. These supplies will be used throughout the year to make sure teachers have what they need to keep lessons and creativity going all year. If you know a community group that would like to help with campus supplies, provide campus supplies, please have them reach out to the EISD Family and Community Engagement Department. PBIS shout-outs. Edgewood's Positive Behavioral Intervention and Support, PBIS teams, hit the ground running this school year, and tonight we'd like to highlight some of the great work. The Memorial High School PBIS team helped host the annual Salsa Bowl Classic Hallway Decorating Contest. Congratulations to the sophomores who crushed it. They'll celebrate with an orange soda and Coke float party. Stafford's Visual and Performing Arts Elementary started the year off with a high-energy pep rally led by students. The event included games, activities, and clear overview of campus expectations. And at Loma Park Elementary, attendance was the focus. Students with perfect attendance were recognized with ice pops, a sweet reward for showing up every day ready to learn. Thank you to all of our PBIS teams and our campus leaders for investing in our students and building a strong, positive culture from day one. Now to our CTE highlight. We're excited to bring back the monthly spotlight on the different career and technical education programs offered in EISD. Tonight, we're showcasing the Business Law and Management program at Kennedy High School, led Veronica Castellano and Anita Castillo. Students are learning about the principles of business and laws governing businesses, how businesses are created, and more. Here now is a look at the business law and management program.
Hello, my name is Giselle Rodriguez, and this is Ms. Castillo's business law class.
Hello, my name is Maximus, and welcome to Ms. Castillo's business acumen class.
If you're interested in learning more about the Business Law and Management CTE program, contact program teachers Veronica Castellano and Anita Castillo or EISD CTE Director, Mr. Javier Uribe. We want to share an opportunity for EISD families who would like to meet with our special education department. Mark your calendars for upcoming events such as Donuts with the Director event held at the Burleson School of Innovation and Education. The next meeting is September the 30th. Director Jennifer Bernal and her team would like to meet with you, talk with you, and find out ways that we can better serve our students. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium our Senior Director of Educational Operations, Mr. Joe Hinojosa, who will be sharing an overview of our special education department here in EISD.
Good evening, Board President Dr. James Hernandez, Board of Trustees, Superintendent of Schools Dr. Edward Hernandez. My name is Joe Hinojosa. It is an honor for me to stand in front of you all today and begin the conversation about our overview of special education services in Edgewood ISD. Our intended argument is the overview of the state of special ed in our district. Tonight's discussion will revolve around the district team mission, our strategic goals, identification process for program services, and our challenges along with our solutions. The team that we have, and I'd like to really highlight them, of course, to my right, Jennifer Bernal, our special education director. Next is Desiree Cervantes, who oversees evaluation and compliance. This is a valued position because what Ms. Cervantes does is ensures that our evaluation is being done accordingly and the compliance of timelines due to the state of Texas for all independent situations of accountability. Also, we have Ms. Benavida as our 18+ transition coordinator, who also serves as our Burleson principal. Below, we have Ms. Elizondo, Ms. Garza, Jose Paz, and Ms. Valdez. These individuals are extremely important because they have a amount of expertise that helps our school district and our campuses. For instance, Ms. Elizondo's expertise is in autism and students with intellectual disabilities, as well as Mr. Paz, who highlights our program for our students who have behavioral and emotional disabilities. Ms. Valdez and Ms. Garza are exceptional when it comes to instructional practices, specifically with specifically designed instruction. So what is special education? I'd like to take this opportunity, the definition is up here, but let me give you the definition of what it means to me and to our staff here at Edgewood ISD. Special education revolves around faith. What that means is free, appropriate public education, and that's guaranteed for our individuals with Individual Disabilities Act, which is IDA. In turn, that means our students within our district have an IEP, which is an individualized education plan. I want to reference highlights that again, an IEP is individualized. It's individualized for our students, and additionally, we have FERPA, which also protects our family for the privacy of our student records and our family's control of that information. These are the rights that uphold the equitable, personalized, and confidential educational experiences of our students. Our mission is to foster academic success, behavioral growth, and meaningful family engagement for our students with disabilities. The strategic goals that we strive to attain and that Ms. Bernal and the team have worked so strongly with is our academic achievement, which is in line with our academics and improved reading growth for students in grade 3 through 8 using targeted instruction program progress monitoring. The next section on student behavior support, reducing disciplinary placements, ISS, OSS, DAP, through proactive interventions and inclusive practices and supports. I want to take a moment to highlight when we talk about student behavior support. Dr. Matkins highlighted a couple slides ago PBIS, because it's our positive behavior. So when we talk about behavior, we're referencing behavior in Edgewood ISD. We're also talking about positive behavior. And that is the goal that we strive for in all areas. And so it is a highlight that as a district and as our campuses that we have that PBIS in place. It's also one of the goals because this is part of our accountability that we go through in our RDA. And then lastly is our family engagement and transition services. This is something that's very important to us in Mr. Now and referencing the donuts with the director. But also there's a new bill in the state of Texas, House Bill 1188, which highlights students in their first ARD or their first IEP who qualify under an intellectual disability or developmental delay have to be given the right to access and services. I'm proud to say that Edgewood ISD, in conjunction with Morgan's Wonderland, which is a MAC, is working together to ensure that we're getting these references and resources out to our parents. So I was a student qualified for special education services under the Individuals with Disabilities Act IDEA, which we referenced earlier, and ensuring a free and public education. We start with evaluation. So students can be evaluated or identified for special ed services from birth all the way to 22. And we have a child find facilitator who works within our district that we work with to ensure that we're identifying our students. If the student has then been identified and evaluated, then we go into having that educational need. And that will show the need for specially designed instruction due to a disability's impact on learning. And lastly, the IEP development, which is the individual education plan that is individualized by our educators, specialists, and most importantly with our parents, and ensuring that we're having the collaboration with our parents. We talked about earlier, I want to go back and I want to reference the key to special education when we talk about faith. Faith is free, appropriate public education. Anchored in faith is what we call a research-centered environment. This is extremely important in everything that we do within Edgewood ISD because our goal is to ensure that our students are served along their peers in our special education classrooms. The decisions and placement for instructional settings goes back to the IEP with parents and ensuring that the settings that are established that we're meeting the needs and the resources for our students. So in turn, that takes us to our continuous services. What does this mean? Our continuous services is where our students are placed. This would be their instructional setting in the classroom. You can start with the general education support, which would be ed accommodations in the classroom, to co-teaching or inclusion, which is a general ed teacher and possibly a para or a special ed teacher collaborating together. Or resources to pull out of our students who may need some targeted support by a special education teacher, who can also push in services as well as the pull-out services. We also have our self-contained classrooms for our students needing some extra attention with some intensive needs. And then we have our specialized program schools, and these are for our students who we may not be able to meet their needs here in the school district, but we had to look at maybe some other sources and resources that can meet their needs. Transition services that we have in Edgewood ISD. So in the state of Texas, at the age of 14, we begin the process of discussing transition services for our students with disabilities. What this entails is that we're looking at what's the student's interest. We have great programs within our district. We highlighted CTE before, so if we have our students that, for instance, have a goal of maybe working in automotive, we have these programs. We have wonderful programs, but also, and thankful to the board, we have a program for our students with disabilities that is our 18+ program. For our students 18 to 22, that is very Burleson School of Innovation and Education that's also partnered with Texas A&M. And as you can see on the pictures here, one of the things that are three of the things that are young adults do is career exploration, college readiness, and independent living. I'm very proud to say with our career exploration and the programs that we offer, we have enterprises within our own school district that our students established, whether that's a flower shop, which you see right there, grows some blooms, Cordelia Specialties, we have a coffee shop, we have a garden, we have a bike shop. We also look at college readiness. Our students who are in 18+ program may come in because they need some extra skills, they may need some extra services to look at, I'm not ready to go to college yet. I'm not ready to take that extra leap, but that is my end goal, and so we're also able to do that as well. And then of course our independent living for our students that want to live alone, or they need to take transportation to get where they need to. And so these are the programs and the services that we offer in Edgewood. But Burleson, as well as the 18 to 22, all of these start earlier than that. This is the end goal, but this is where we have a phenomenal program, and I want to thank the board for allowing us to continue this work. This is very specific data as of current in our district. This is the total number of students we currently have in our district, 1,261 students that we service. And you can see up on the side the different types of disabilities. We've also attached the QR code. You can take a picture if you take your phone, and that's going to give a more detailed description of the disabilities. So earlier we talked about the continuous services. What you'll see there on the instructional setting, that is what the continuous services is. When we talked about students in our general ed classrooms receiving accommodations, that would be our mainstream. When we have students that may need some extra support, that would be our resource. And then our self-contained would be for our students that need extra support and may have some severe disabilities. But that also means that when we talk about our least restricted environment, is that we have our students going out to classes. Whether that starts with going out to PE, when we have a program like Partners in PE. These are all programs I want to highlight that we have within our schools when it comes to our students with disabilities in conjunction with the general ed groups. So some program updates. One of the things that we've done really hard, and I want to thank you for now here, is the redesign of the donuts with the directors of the advisory council. I think some parents may be in here that we've met with, and I want to tell you thank you for taking the time to give us some opportunities to have a discussion about what are some things that we can do differently, or what are some things that we have challenges that you can also help with. We've heard from you parents too in enhancing the webpage, doing clicks. So we're working on that as well. And not only that, special education training for all teachers. I'm also proud to announce over the summer that our special education staff, and who you see in this picture, are not only the specialists, but they're also teachers that train general ed teachers in the resources, in accommodations, modifications, and things that go in for the special ed case manager that they can train with the teachers. So they did a fantastic job, and I want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to have our own teachers trained alongside our general ed teachers. We have monthly case manager check-ins. We've also got feedback from our parents that they would like more information coming from the case managers, so we're now ramping that up and working alongside our case managers. More parent training, and they'll go to our website, and also be on the lookout for Girl Share for our families that have students in our program. We'll start to receive more of those, and then increase campus visits. So these are some of our challenges right now. It's no secret staffing across the state of Texas, but particularly for us to staffing in the area of special education continues to be a challenge. Challenges of the legislative mandates, even though we've got more money that's coming in, there's certain ways we have to spend it, and so that handcuffs us a bit. Solutions, though, is we are contracting services for LSSPs, which is our licensed school psychologists, and those are our individuals who perform the evaluations. I also want to say thank you to the board, because those items have come up, and you guys have all been very supportive in us making sure that we're continuing to make sure our families get all the resources. We're also shifting our central office resources to schools. Individuals that we can place at the schools, filling in the classrooms right now where we may have a vacancy. We're working to do that. And as always, our outreach to programs and universities to share the opportunities that are here in Edgewood. I take any opportunity that I get, and also when I'm asked to speak about our program, not just in special ed, but particularly in Edgewood, and the wonderful district and the opportunities that we have our department. You can see there our flyer for recruiting teachers as well. And below you'll see our staffing structure of our current staff that we have. So once again, I want to, where we started, go back to the Lisbon now, the donuts with the director. I asked that all of you here, community, and I apologize that my back sees, so I'm going to turn to make eye contact with individuals that are here. Please share the word. We want to get feedback. We want you to be there and tell us how we can improve, because at the end of the day, everything we do is for our kids. And we love our community, and we love our program, and the things that we can establish together. And so, if you'll please, if you have a child within our program, please come to the meeting so that we can get more feedback. But at the end of the day, work together to improve, because we are Edgewood proud. We're here for our community. Here's my contact information as well. Please reach out to me, email me, you can call me. I would love to have any conversations for any parents as well when it comes to our students with special needs. And also Mr. Brown. I'd like to tell you thank you for giving me the opportunity to start the discussion in our program, and to all the community members here, thank you as well. Thank you.
In celebrating 75 years of EISD, we are honored to highlight an EISD legacy. Manny Reyes, Memorial High School class of 1998, shined as a student athlete on both the varsity football and baseball teams. He went on to play baseball at St. Mary's University, where he was part of the 2001 National Championship team. And this November, he will be inducted into the St. Mary's Athletics Hall of Fame. Today, he continues serving the community as a detective for the San Antonio Police Department. This year, Mr. Reyes returned to EISD to help kick off the Salsa Bowl with a ceremonial coin toss, pictured here with Memorial High School Principal Miguel Elizondo. National Bullying Prevention Month is approaching. It's actually in October. We are proud to highlight an important presentation happening tomorrow at Gus Garcia University School. The Davis Legacy Foundation will engage our 6th through 8th grade students in a powerful conversation about bullying and cyberbullying prevention. The foundation was established in memory of David Moloch, a San Antonio high school student whose life was cut short by cyberbullying. The state's anti-cyberbullying law carries his name, honoring his memory and reinforcing our collective responsibility to keep students safe. Now I'd like to highlight some positive stories being shared about EISD across our community. The Express News recently featured Stafford Visual and Performing Arts Elementary, showcasing the classical music instruction being brought into the classrooms. In the article, 11-year-old Amanda shared that she can now see a future for herself as a performing musician. Telemundo interviewed Kennedy High School football players who spoke about the mindset for the 2025 season and how the Rockets are approaching each game differently. Earlier this month, Dr. Hernandez joined live on Express News podcast channel to discuss the House Bill 1481, the cell phone ban. He was joined by retired Churchill High School principal Anne Maureen Moloch, the mother of David Moloch, from whom the anti-bullying Davis law is named. Link to all of these stories can be found on the Marketing and Communications page at EISD.net. And we want to remind you to make sure that you're following EISD, as I say, on YouTube. That's where you can find all of the messages from the superintendent, as well as live streams of meetings and sporting events. Right now, there's a new message from Dr. Hernandez on the current Texas Education Agency ratings, as well as his Salsa Bowl message. We invite you to take a few minutes to check this out. We want to thank everyone for your attendance today and your attention to the recognition presentation. In Edgewood, people matter, growth matter, goals matter. Thank you for living this way every day and for keeping our students and staff at the board president or either Dr.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we'll take, take pictures. They'll come back. Come see anyone moving. We good? Okay, we're gonna keep going then.
All right, Mr. President. I would like to share some thoughts that I put down on paper that I want to share with our community. First of all, I want to thank members of our community. I only see two, but I am going to name some other folks because whether the person's here or not, I'd like to give credit where credit's due. Over the last week, I had an opportunity to meet with some of our parents in the community and one of our community members. We had a very productive meeting last week with regards to a parent resolution that was brought to the board on August 19th. And so in having that conversation, I also wanted to take a moment to read something, my thoughts to the community, as well as also continue in a dialogue and in a conversation to co-create what I believe and what my hope is will be the new opportunities for our parents in the school district. In addition to what you've seen today, as you can see, there's a lot of opportunities for parents. I'm seeing a lot of our parents that are still in the room that will recognize, as well as other students that I recognize from across the district. So I do want to start there. So I want to go ahead and share just a few thoughts, and then we'll proceed. So good evening, board members, families, and community members. I want to take a moment to speak directly to our Edgewood ISD parents and guardians. As your superintendent, my commitment has always been to listen, learn, and lead with transparency and respect. In my 29 years in education, I have made listening to feedback a vital part of my service. Over the past 7 years at Edgewood ISD, I work hard to remain accessible to our families, students, staff, and community through various platforms and have welcomed feedback that's helped us grow stronger together. I hold luncheons with students, the superintendent's community council, and many of you have been gracious enough to serve on, morning duty at campuses and at various functions throughout the district. Even when we have to make tough decisions about closing campuses, we turn to you, the community, for your input. I understand that only together can we build relationships and create change for positive outcomes. Following our last board meeting, I personally reached out to the 4 families who were present and were here to speak to the board. I'm pleased to share that I have met with these individuals, and I do want to, again, give credit where credit is due. I don't see Jessica, but Jessica was at our meeting. Ms. Dora, I do see Ms. Dora here. Ms. Dorothy, I know I saw you here. Oh, there you go, Ms. Dorothy. And then Ms. Belinda, I don't see Ms. Belinda, but Belinda was there as well. And I'm working to create a parent advisory council to provide more opportunities for dialogue. I truly appreciate their feedback and the opportunity to better understand the concerns they have with Edgewood ISD. These conversations are important, and I am grateful for their willingness to meet and openly discuss their concerns. We have learned through these meetings that Edgewood ISD needs to do a better job promoting the work we already do. Much of the information requested by our parents is already available on our website. For student information, parents have access to the parent portal, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that later in my presentation. For information about safety, security, accountability, finances, and other relevant information, the board hears regularly at board workshops and board meetings that are live streamed and then posted to our website for easy access. While we promote accessibility regularly, it is clear that we need to improve our efforts in making the community more aware of these resources. More importantly, we learned that no matter what the perspective, we want the best for our students in general. As a response to the feedback I've received recently, I'd like to increase opportunities for parents to visit with me. I will be available to parents in the mornings after my morning duty once a week at different campuses throughout Edgewood ISD. In addition, during my ongoing student leadership network luncheons, I will also extend invitations so that parents can join there as well. These meetings will vary in time to accommodate for the variability in parent schedules and their responsibilities. I am extending an open invitation to Edgewood ISD parents who wish to engage in meaningful dialogue. These meetings are intended to hear directly from you, your experiences, your ideas, and your hopes for our schools. In true Edgewood ISD fashion, these sessions will be held in the welcoming environment of your local school campuses. I will be sharing dates and locations in an ongoing cadence using ThrillShare, so please ask parents to sign up on our parent portal. My intent is to ensure that our decisions continue to reflect the needs of those we serve, who are our students and their families. I want to acknowledge the priorities addressed in the parents' petition. Safe classrooms, bilingual access to EISD resources so that all parents can participate, and a clear grievance process so that priorities for the district are shared. In direct response to the petition, I'd like to announce that the Parent Advisory Group will be created with the objective for representatives, led by a co-chair, to co-create agendas with district staff and share equal responsibility in presenting and facilitating meetings. The express goal behind the development of a recommendation process to deliver information to the board and superintendent is a tenet of this group. This shared ownership will ensure that our decisions are truly reflective of the needs and aspirations of the community across Edgewood ISD. To those parents who have previously been engaged but may have stepped back, no matter what the reason, I invite you to rejoin in our efforts. To those of you that have been with us, thank you for your continued partnership and trust. Your voices matter and your involvement is crucial in shaping the path forward. As a community, we need to know that in addition to the priorities I've just addressed, in public education, we also face challenges such as recruiting and retaining qualified teachers, addressing declining attendance rates, and reversing declining enrollment. I want to be very clear that every moment we spend not moving in the same direction is a moment lost to do something positive and productive for our students. We can focus on the work that we can do collaboratively to address these challenges head-on collectively. These complex issues affecting the state of Texas and Edgewood ISD require community-wide collaboration, and your input is vital. In closing, I am confident that with your support and collaboration, we can achieve great things for our Edgewood ISD. I look forward to connecting with you soon and working together to build a stronger educational environment for all of our children in the 16 square miles of the Edgewood Independent School District. So I do want to first of all, thank you, gracias, for allowing me this moment to share my thoughts. I want to thank again the 4 individuals that I mentioned in my speech, because they were the individuals that reached out, very courageous, very respectful in our meeting. Also led the meeting, did a lot of listening at this meeting, and that's the expectation that I have as we move forward. A lot of listening and co-creating as a group. And so I thank you. I think, Jessica, you were leading that group for us, so I thank you for doing that. And I wanted to share again my thoughts with the community on that. I have a little more to share, a little more visuals to share in my superintendent's PowerPoint a little later. But at this point, I want to turn it back over to our board rep.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to our next agenda item, which is communication from citizens. Mr. Espinosa.
Before we call up any speakers, there are some procedural items to be announced. Board policy BD local limits public comments to specific agenda items. Any speaker that deviates from speaking on agenda items will be ruled out of order and they will forfeit the rest of their time. Speakers who engage in personal attacks or use insulting, profane, threatening, or abusive language during any board meeting shall be ruled out of order by the presiding officer and may be escorted from the board meeting room by district peace officers. Any concerns or complaints regarding employees, public officials, students, or parents should be resolved via the appropriate complaint process as stated in DED local. Pursuant to 551.042 of the Texas Government Code, no board member or administrator may respond to a member of the public unless such response is a recitation of district policy or a statement of specific factual information. Please be advised that citizens, and especially board members, shall refrain from speaking over one another during the meeting out of respect for the speaker that has the floor.
Awesome, thank you, sir. And today, everyone's gonna have 3 minutes. I know one person has may need a translator, so they'll have 6 minutes. However, I mentioned this last meeting, 3 minutes to say what they need to say, and then 3 minutes for the translator to repeat everything in the other language. Okay, you understand? So here we go. First, Ms. Agapita Jaramillo.
Good afternoon, Superintendent, Board of Trustees, and community. I stand before you today to voice my concerns regarding the Edgewood ISD superintendent's evaluation, which I believe is not an accurate reflection of the students of the district's true standing. This evaluation is currently based on metrics that are far removed from the actual performance of the district, particularly when we consider the district's D rating by the Texas Education Agency. The evaluation should not be influenced by the self-portrayal or personal image that the superintendent may project. It's crucial that any performance review is rooted in measurable outcomes that reflect the district's real academic standing, rather than an image of success that is not supported by tangible results. When we are faced with a D rating from TEA, we must face the reality of the situation and understand that a proper evaluation should be grounded in addressing the academic and operational challenges we face. The TEA's grade is a reflection of how well our students are performing, how effectively resources are being allocated, and how the district as a whole is progressing. It is an objective metric based on data and student outcomes. To ignore that grade and evaluate the superintendent based on self-reported perceptions or public relations efforts does a disservice to the students, teachers, and community members who are directly impacted by the district's performance. To be clear, a superintendent's role is to steer the district toward improvement, to respond to the needs of the students, and to provide effective leadership. The current evaluation framework must be adjusted to better align with the reality of the district's performance as reflected by the TA's grading system. Only by acknowledging the actual challenges rather than the inflated portrayal of success can we work towards real, meaningful improvement. I have nothing against Dr. Hernandez. He is a kind man, but kindness will not take us to the next level where we deserve to be. In closing, I see that you are recommending giving the superintendent the authority for purchases up to $100,000. This is unacceptable. We need accountability and oversight, not a blank check. Who is really running this district? And sir, I commend you. I'm glad that you're moving forward with those kind words and thoughts, but this is something that should have been done way before, years since you got here, sir. Thank you.
Next, Ms. Valerie Martinez.
Hello, good evening and thank you. I'm speaking on agenda item 6A related to the no new revenue rate and voter approval tax rate for 2025. I vehemently disagree with the motion to increase property tax by a 2.17% increase. Last week, the special session, the term financial stewardship was brought up. Rhetorically speaking, I'd like to bring that term to the table again. There are school properties around the district that are not actively educating students. Why are these buildings being maintained, and how is that financial stewardship of taxpayer dollars in this district? Those buildings require regular building and campus maintenance, not to mention law enforcement patrol. I don't agree that we, as a community, should pay more money. Excuse me, I'm reading hard. Okay. I don't agree that we as a community should pay more money to a district that until recently had appeared apathetic and has lacked efficacy in inciting and sustaining substantial improvements in the district and their school, their ratings, the students' scholastic achievements, and being college, career, or military ready. I'd be more agreeable to tax property increases for the district after being witness to these improvements for our school and the district rating. The lack of improvement as a district is obvious to anyone who has the ability to look closely enough. This, as a community member's plea to the district and also our community and families to rally together for improvements in these schools. These meetings should not be an us versus them. We are all in this together. The children of this district deserve a fighting chance to do better, to have better, and to be better. This is for them. We need to show them care.
Next, Ms. Dora Maldonado.
Good evening, superintendent board members. I read the agenda and about all the goals about college and career readiness, and I know they sound good on paper. We want 85% of our students ready by 2027. That's great, but here's the thing: how can our kids really be ready and the people teaching the college level classes aren't actually certified to teach those subjects? I may not know all the technology concerns, but I do know this. If we expect students to pass dual credit, CSI, AP, or get a certificate, they need teachers who are qualified and trained in those exact areas. That's not currently happening for some classes. I'm asking you to really back up these goals with action. Partner with the colleges, bring in certified instructors or professors, and make sure that our kids are learning from the best so they actually have a fair shot. Otherwise, the numbers we're aiming for, they're just numbers on paper, not real progress for our students. Our students deserve more than a promise. They deserve the real support to succeed in college and in life. We start with 20 to 30 students that sign up, and 8 to 10 actually get their associate's degree. I would love to see all of them succeed, but we need to make sure they have the support they need. I know if they did, we could really meet those goals and more. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, Mr. Felix Maldonado.
Good evening, board members. It's me again, Felix. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak once more. I come before you with a simple question. How many signatures will it take for our baseball field to finally receive the same attention and updates as the other athletic fields in the district? I know tonight you will also be discussing the superintendent contract. Before making that important decision, I encourage you to reflect on the bigger picture. We've seen schools close. We continue to hear about struggles to keep campuses open, and many in the community feel that things have not improved. As leaders, I ask you to consider how this impacts not only academics but also the pride and moral of your students. For athletes, the field is like our classroom. I have shared pictures that show the reality we face every day: torn tarps for shade, worn down areas, and the field that looks overlooked compared to others. No student athlete should have to practice or compete under those conditions. We notice the difference, and so does the community. I understand board members are reimbursed for training, gas, and meals, and that the press box is in excellent condition. That's fine, but our athletes deserve the same level of care for the spaces where we work hard, represent our schools, and make our families proud. So again, my question is simple. Instead of just focusing on evaluations and extension, how many signatures would it take to bring our baseball field up to the same standards as others? If there's a clear answer, my mom and I are ready to get the process started. Thank you for your time, remembering that the decision making here don't just affect policies and contracts, they affect real students, athletes, teachers, and staff. You speak for many. Please make sure your choices count for all of us.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Henrietta LaGrange.
Thank you. My name is Henrietta LaGrange, and I am part of the community. Thank you for allowing me to be here. But I remember being here at the last board meeting, and I think my direction was at each and every one of you board members. I did ask that I wanted in writing a reply how you're gonna fix the D rating. I have not gotten a call or a message or an email or nothing letting me know how you're going to remedy the problem. My concern is if a child gets a D, the child is failing. The board gets a D, you're failing. Mr. Hernandez, you speak so eloquently. I hope you understood that I wanted to meet with you. It's very clear, and I'm going to make it clear again. Call me. I can make time, and if you need advice, I'll gladly give it to you. Because I may not be an expert, but I'm smart enough to be dangerous. But also, it's the children, and I'm surprised that TEA has not taken over Edgewood. I'm totally surprised. They need to be here to give guidance. James, I know you personally. Rudy, I know you personally too. What can I say? I'm gonna ask you to bring this board up, because I know both of you can do it. James, how did you get your PhD? Dr. Hernandez, how did you get your PhD? Did you do it yourselves, or did you get help? But I'm open, because you need us too. If you're struggling and having a problem, we can help you. We don't want to come here and attack you. We want to work with you. Our beautiful children. Thank you.
How many students is Edgewood actually serving when the majority of our schools are under the partnership of 1882? This is the real question we should be asking. If the district itself is not fully serving our students, then why are we wasting time and money on reevaluations and buyouts instead of fixing the problem at hand? The reevaluation of the superintendent is not just about performance. It's about wasting money we do not have. Our district is sitting at a D. That alone should tell us that the focus must be on fixing instruction, supporting teachers, and helping students succeed. Every time money is pulled out for these kinds of things, it is taken directly from the classroom and away from our children. This is unacceptable. On top of that, there is the proposal to increase the superintendent's purchasing authority from $50,000 to $100,000. This is dangerous. Purchases above $50,000 are supposed to come before the board so you know exactly where the taxpayers' money is going. If you raise that limit, you remove transparency and accountability, which we already lack. And this board has a history of not asking tough questions and going along with whatever the superintendent puts forward. Increasing that threshold only makes the problem worse. Thank you for meeting with our parents, but let's be clear. Just because we had one meeting doesn't mean you get an A+. You will need to earn that, and right now you haven't. There is no transparency, no accountability, and no real effort to meet parents at our level. Thank you for acknowledging our petition, but we are still not done. This is just the beginning of many issues that must be addressed in this district. The longer you take to act on the issues being presented, the more issues will come forward, and the more we will continue to demand change, demand transparency, and hold both the superintendent and this board accountable. And for the bully, doesn't matter if someone has a diploma or not, that doesn't dictate the voice that they have and they hold. And just for the record, I do hold a high school diploma. Thank you.
Ms. Melody Herrera.
Board members, community, superintendent, thank you for not letting me go first today. I was very surprised. I'm last, I assume. I stand before you today speaking on behalf of myself as a community advocate because our community, our parents, and most importantly, our students deserve honesty and accountability from this board. And I'm speaking on behalf of myself. If that hasn't been clear all these times that I've been here, up here, doing public comment. We cannot ignore the reality that Edgewood ISD has just been rated a D district. That is not just a letter on paper. It's a reflection of the struggles our children face every single day in the classroom. An annual superintendent evaluation is not a formality. It is a vital tool for ensuring that leadership is truly driving improvement in student achievement, campus performance, and district stability. If we do not give an accurate, transparent evaluation, then we are failing in our duty as a trustee. Our students cannot afford inflated ratings or excuses. They need results. The district has been through too much instability, too much false promises, Extending a contract when a district is rated as a D sends the wrong message. That leadership is rewarded despite performances. That is not accountability, and it is not what our community expects of you. We must focus on measurable progress, evidence-based improvements, and real outcomes for our students. The evaluation process should be honest, rigorous, and tied directly to academic success and parent engagement. Until we see significant change, it is not in the best interest of Edgewood ISD to extend the superintendent's contract, as they have been doing every single year. Our children only get one shot at their education. Let's not waste another year. On top of that, increasing the superintendent's spending authority to $50,000 to $100,000 with no added accountability is irresponsible. At the time when our students are struggling, the priority must be results in the classroom, not more unchecked spending. For the sake of our students and our taxpayers, I urge this board to vote no on extending the superintendent's contract and vote no on expanding the spending authority. When y'all go to closed session, I hope the superintendent will be transparent and allow the public to know what his evaluation was. I know last year they told me that's against the law, no, but if they want to do that, we want to see it. Be transparent with your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Jessica Rodriguez.
Good evening, school board, superintendent, parents, advocates, community, students. As was spoken about earlier, the board is going to discuss and consider the renewal of Dr. Hunt's contract. I want to bring to light a few facts and perspectives, however. The school board is voted by the community to represent us, specifically to listen to the needs of the students and make sure that the district and superintendent follow through to meet those needs. A few of the trustees have been quoted on either social media sites or newspapers or some type of online news outlet, saying that they ran for a seat on the board to help bring in qualified teachers that would stay, address declining enrollment, and take a hard look at high-level salaries, including that of the superintendent. That being said, not once have I heard any of the board members, except for Michael Valdez, of course, ask for clarification when there's data being reviewed, when there's numbers and statistics and pie charts and percentages being talked about. Not once has he asked the schools or the district how they plan to come back from that devastating rating for the past 5 years. So like I said, what happened to that follow-through, trustees? It's not just the superintendents. This is a checks and balances process where you guys are supposed to hold the school district and the superintendent in check to make sure that our students' needs and the community essentially are being met. So again, back to the accountability part. It's not just them. It doesn't always, it is at the top with the leadership. However, you've seen that the community and parents are making themselves regularly present and vocal about these major issues, preventing our children from getting a quality education. So the notion of it starts at home is not always true. And according, I think it was brought up earlier about the superintendent's contract. Our superintendent is the 5th highest paid superintendent in all of our county, according to 2024 TEA data. You would imagine that we have triple the enrollment and at least a B- rating, to be honest. Our children deserve bold leadership, accountability, and results. Tonight I urge you to weigh all the facts, not just words, and take a hard look at everyone's role on the school board, the superintendent's obligations and responsibilities, and how the parents have been ignored for decades. But again, I've asked for you to do a self-check as well. Like I said, we have this checks and balances system in place for a reason. So does this contract renewal serve the best interest of the Edgewood students? For the superintendent, would as well? Do you think that we should vote you back in? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Next, Ms. Linda Chavez. Veronica Hernandez.
Hello. Buenas tardes, trustees and superintendent. My name is Veronica Hernandez, and I'm here before you as a parent and as someone who deeply cares about the future of Edgewood ISD. Edgewood is where my journey began. In 2000, I moved here from New Mexico to attend Our Lady of the Lake University and earn my graduate degree in bilingual speech language pathology. My very first job was right here, serving the children of Edgewood. Over the past 25 years, I've met incredible mentors, educated, passionate Chicanos who taught me the true meaning of orgullo, advocacy, and familia. But today, I'm going to speak honestly. Edgewood is not the district I remember. Where's the orgullo? Where's the respect for our elders who built this community? ¿Dónde está la invitación para nuestros padres y familia? Community and parent involvement are almost non-existent. Out of all the schools in Edgewood, only 2 have active PTAs. How is this possible? A strong PTA is the bridge between home and school. It empowers parents, supports teachers, and creates a sense of belonging for our students. Without that, parents feel excluded, disconnected, and voiceless. As a parent, I know firsthand that parent engagement is the key to a student's success. A child cannot thrive where the family feels shut out of the process. Before extending the superintendent's contract, I urge you to set clear, measurable goals to rebuild parent involvement and to ensure every school in this district has the leadership and support needed to form a strong PTA. Finally, I want to say that I stand in full support of Michael Valdez. Thank you, Michael, for being a role model for our youth, for showing that knowledge is power, and for speaking up for those who feel they have no voice. My mama's bendiciones y oraciones are with you always. Edgewood has a rich history of resilience and pride. Let us return to that legacy together. Gracias for your time and for listening to the voice of the families you serve.
Thank you.
You were Veronica, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. Okay, our last speaker, Ms. Gabriela Hernandez Martinez. I believe we're using a translator. Okay, so 3 minutes to speak and then another 3 minutes for the translator.
So she's gonna start in Spanish and then count with her part in English.
The same thing, all right? Okay, that's fine. So, hang on. Can you put 6 minutes? Well, actually, hang on. Let me clarify. Is that what you do? Okay, good. Okay, so keep it 3 minutes. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, la paz de Cristo en nuestra Madre Santísima de Guadalupe esté con ustedes, San Miguel, San Gabriel y San Rafael. Estoy aquí para dar seguimiento a mi testimonio y estamos atendiendo la petición de más padres de familia que no pudieron venir de hablar por ellos. Actualmente comprendo el motivo del por qué no se llegó a una resolución efectiva en el caso de bullying, discriminación y acoso hacia mis hijos y hacia mi persona, ya que el abuso en Edgewood existe acompañado de la negligencia por parte del personal y es debido a un patrón que existe en el distrito, patrocinado por el superintendente y su comitiva. Me cuesta trabajo asimilar y ver la corrupción en todo su esplendor, donde por pensar diferente y buscar un bien mayor, las personas son atacadas, maestros y personal despedidos, miembros de la mesa directiva sancionados por dar la cara por la comunidad. El caso de Michael Valdez, vemos que las personas que abusan son condecoradas, que siguen las instrucciones y hacen lo correcto son despedidas. El caso de los oficiales que detuvieron a Maribel Gardea, siguieron las indicaciones del sheriff que impunemente levantó cargos a Maribel Gardea y que no iban solo por aplicar el abuso de poder al que están acostumbrados a ejercer. Pareciera que estamos en tiempos proféticos donde al bien lo llaman mal y al mal bien. Es inconcebible que todo se vuelque sobre Michael cuando
deberían de ser su apoyo y su ejemplo. Esta es la historia de maestros, directivos, personal y alumnos y familias que piensan diferente solo por obedecer la verdad, la realidad y el bien común para la humanidad. ¿Qué hicieron? ¿Qué han hecho? Si Edgewood es el distrito que más fondos tiene, no puedo inscribir a mis hijos en una escuela más cercana como Gardendale, solo tiene hasta el segundo grado cuando su capacidad es para más. ¿Para qué cierran las escuelas como Wing? ¿Para qué buscar una escuela fuera de mi área donde se optimizan los recursos? Veo que los miembros de la mesa directiva tratan de opacar la luz, confundirnos y se quedan limitados ante los abusos de poder. ¿A dónde están los maestros que buscan hacer la diferencia y dejar un legado mayor a la humanidad y que enseñan para la vida? ¿Dónde están los niños que entraron con el alma llena de fe y armonía y alegría y sedientos del corazón roto y el alma herida? Solo encontraron bullying y discriminación donde debieron encontrar apoyo e inclusión. Para que su nación que está fundada bajo Dios, no le temen. ¿Para qué dicen que son una nación que están bajo un poder invisible y dividen a los padres y a los maestros? Solicitamos adopte la resolución de un nuevo superintendente y una renovación de la mesa directiva donde Michael Valdés permanezca. Se retiran los cargos a Maribel Gardea de traspaso, se le retire la sanción a Michael Valdés y se retire el yoga del after school y se revisen los programas Canis por clases de la Biblia donde contengan todos los libros instituidos en ella. Ocupamos respuestas. No están trabajando con mercancía ni con cheques al portador. Están trabajando con los hijos de Dios y de la Virgencita de Guadalupe. Cada uno es intocable. Lo que está mal hecho aunque todos lo hagan. Y lo que está bien hecho aunque solo lo hagan. Debemos de volver a la verdad, aunque solo fuéramos a hacer 12. San Juan Pablo II.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing the translation in English. I'm going to be translating the notes, the handwritten notes. So at this point, let me begin. Good afternoon. May the peace of Christ and our blessed Mother of Guadalupe be with you. I'm here to follow up on my testimony, this time in response to the request of more parents who were unable to come speak for themselves. I understand why there was no effective resolution to the discrimination and harassment case against my family, as the abuse and the neglect on the part of the staff are due to a pattern of neglect sponsored by the superintendent in the district. It is very difficult for me to assimilate that all this corruption, if you think differently and if you look for a common well-being of people, people are attacked, teachers and maybe staff are being fired, members of the school board, like for example the case of Michael Valdez, we see that people are sometimes praised because they follow instruction and they do what is correct. They are fired. It is the case of officials that they detain Maribel. They follow the indications of the sheriff with impunity. They press charge against Maribel Gardea. And not only that, they apply a abuse of power that they're used to exercise. It seems like we are in prophetic times where good is being called bad and bad is being called good. It is inconceivable that all the attention is over Michael when he should be perceived as an example. This is the same story for teachers, staff, students, and families who might think differently and just for defending what we think is the truth. The reality is that we look for common good, for humanity. What did you do? What have you done? Yes, Edgewood is the district that has the most funds, and I cannot register my kids at a particular campus, for example, Gardendale, because they only have up to second grade. What happened to schools like Red? I should say that I need to look for a school outside the district limits where they do optimize the resources. I see that members of the school board they try to infuse confusion. They stay silent, and that is just an example of abuse of power.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brad. Okay, those are all our speakers. Next, we move on to our next agenda item. Superintendent's report, sir.
All right, so again, we do want to thank all our speakers this evening. Thank you, gracias. I only have a few things that I want to bring up this evening. First and foremost, I want to highlight that this is Hispanic Heritage Month. If you didn't know it, that did start, last night, if you know the tradition from Mexico. So it starts this month and it will be all the way until the middle of October. So we do want to highlight, these are our young ladies from the Las Palmas Leadership School for Girls. And of course, there'll be a lot of activities happening throughout the semester. So tonight for my superintendent's report, I mentioned earlier that I was going to highlight just a document that I received from our parent advisory group, or our parents that I met with last week. And I gave it a lot of thinking. That's why I shared my thoughts earlier with everyone. Over the last few years, we've always tried to act within our core values of the district. We're to be professional, to be accountable, and communicate. As many ways as possible, because obviously we all have different ways of communicating, and always remembering the number one outcome. Because the number one outcome gets measured in different ways. And of course, I'll share that, and we do share that at any of our workshops. So I would ask a lot of our friends that are here tonight to please come to our workshops. That's where you hear the details of what's going on in the school. To also include the areas that we still have to grow in and are failing. Let's just say that. That's the honest fact. And so what I would ask people to do is to come to our workshops, because that is where the board becomes highly informed on the items that they're about to discuss and vote on tonight. The purpose of this meeting tonight is to recognize our different programs, students, families, artists, different groups, to include our students that are showing up and doing the color guard. That's what these meetings have always been about. So again, I would urge you to please come to our workshops, because that is where that information gets discussed very in depth. And of course, those meetings are recorded, as well as all those PowerPoints that are for you to look at. So again, I want to make sure that I'm going to continue to invite you, please, and come. And so as part of the parent resolution that I mentioned earlier, these were some of the items that were asked of me and that we're going to continue to work on. And I do hear very clearly, first meeting, right? There are still many, many meetings to come. And as long as we are willing to co-create the future and continue to honor the things that staff has already been doing, and I want to remember that. I understand, I think one of the persons that commented said, I may be the head of the school district, but there are a lot of women and men, and I mean teachers, students, custodians, athletic staff, who also are working in the everyday. And I don't want us to forget that, because they're the ones who carry that flag in the upfront every day. And so to the parents that came, I will continue to listen, and I will continue to co-create. And so we did attach to that link the grievance process, because I think one of you asked for that. And so we'll continue to share that. I also want to start sharing as a result of what we discussed this week. Now, I want to be very clear. What I'm about to share with you is not necessarily anything that I haven't been doing and the trustees have come. All 7 trustees have come to these. The enhancement, I want to use the word enhancement very specifically, came because of what I heard from you guys and what I'm going to ask you for feedback as we move forward. So as I'm spending time in schools in the mornings anyways, part of my goal is to, 1, invite trustees that are available. 2, I'm also going to personally invite the parents that are dropping off and that have an opportunity to stay for the particular campus. I'm using the logo of LBJ just because it's a nice logo, but I will ultimately make it to all the schools and sit with me for a good 45 minutes. And those are just 3 topics of a startup topic, but if somebody has something else they want to talk about, that's what the floor is there for. Now here's where my direct ask to the community. I've been preaching, asking that parents sign up for Parent Portal. We are yet to see most campuses over 50%. Most of our parents do not sign up for Parent Portal for whatever reason. What I'm asking you to do is help us get people signed out, because when we do these, we're going to use Parent Portal and our app with ThrillShare to send a blast out a text, blast out an email, reminding parents that this is an opportunity for you. Now, this is just one opportunity. So I call these micro opportunities, Because not everybody likes to be in a big room. Some people just like to talk one-on-one. And so again, these are gonna be an opportunity for parents to visit with me. And in the future, you're gonna see me come next month and talk about how we're gonna do student luncheons now. We've been doing student luncheons for years. In fact, some of you have been there, including our trustees. We're gonna enhance that too. Again, micro opportunities are important because again, not everybody likes to be in a big room with a lot of people, and I respect that. And so again, this is first blush, right? But we'll start sending this out immediately and starting my meetings. I've already been going to schools, but we're gonna enhance this, and then of course, I'll do other things in terms of showing our trustees what's happening in the classroom on the front lines. Not anything new. We've been doing that for 4 years. And so, but again, it's important to share. Here's the page for parent self-serve, parent portal, kind of a different name. But here's your contact person. If you don't know how to sign up or you need help, this is the person that you can reach out to. Again, this is going to be on the website. In fact, at the end of this presentation, there is a QR code. And starting tomorrow, you'll be able to hit, and you'll be able to get all these presentations there too. I actually want to thank members of the community that are actually sitting in the room. That was an idea you gave me. So I'm always listening. Just because I don't act on it immediately doesn't mean I'm not listening. I have to work with my team on getting things up and running. As always, Parent Portal helps us also to monitor our attendance goal. That's the attendance goal we have for our campuses. And so we highlight them each week on social media. We send it to the principals. These are the campuses that are hitting their targets every week. So again, I want us to get used to speaking with facts because again, this has a direct correlation to if kids aren't in school, they're not learning. Kids aren't in school, we're not meeting parents. More importantly, as a superintendent, but more importantly, as a dad myself, if they're not in school, then I don't know where they are. And that's never a good thing. We all have kids. We all have grandkids, nieces, nephews, people you love. If they're not at school, we don't know who they are. You saw two of the people we highlighted tonight for leader of the pack, our two attendance clerks. You heard it from their mouth. They watch these kinds of things. So again, I need your help with that. Here's the other thing. I know one of the direct asks was keeping our schools safe. So what we've enhanced on this graphic, nothing new, we've been using it. Every time a school passes their audit, and ladies and gentlemen, we don't audit our own schools. Texas State comes in, TEA sends individuals, they don't tell us when they're coming, they just show up. And those three things you see there, that is the criteria they use to evaluate if a school is meeting their expectations around safety. So again, I want to be real clear. You're going to see these more. I've always used the graphic that is what has the little yellow square, but the enhancement was those three criteria. Felt like we could enhance this. So thank you to our police department and our chief and our marketing department and Ms. Gloria who helped me create these. So again, these are the folks, the School Safety and Security Network are the ones who audit our schools. It is not us. We have independent auditors that audit our schools. Again, you've seen this before. This has worked in many instances. And then, of course, I also want to highlight the community care for Ms. Trevino and her department. We've heard over the years about mental health. You've heard me speak very openly about my own issues with mental health. I've always been upfront about it. These things matter to the children that are in our schools. What they face with these is much more different than we ever did. So if you've never read I'm not promoting a book here. I just want to tell you what I read because it informs me. There's a book called An Anxious Generation. You should read it. It tells us a lot about our kids. And full disclosure, you're going to probably see yourself in it too. We've all we're growing up in that environment. So to counseling services and social services, thank you for starting these community care fairs and thank you for continuing them. They're going to be continuing throughout the year. And so again, direct ask from our parents that are talking to us in this room and outside of this room too. So again, I want to make sure we share those things. This is just another view of the different folks that were there. We wanted to invite mental health agencies to come in because what's the hardest thing? Well, you convinced me to get help, but then where do I go next? So having them in the room makes it a whole lot easier. And so again, the more we talk about these things, then we remove the stigma. And we all know in our communities, this is a hard thing to talk about. So again, let's please share that information. And then of course, as parents have asked me before, when I have a concern at a school, where do I start? Those are the three individuals who are in this room, and I always shake their hand at some point. This is where you start those conversations. You have the secretary's connections there and the main number. This is where we would ask you to go directly after you try to work with your particular campus. So again, this will also, this has been living on the website for a while. This is all part of keeping a great organization in the school district. For tonight's meeting, as we mentioned, the board does a lot of pre-work before they come. These are all the dates that the board has met. The items you see in circle are board updates that the board gets on Fridays, which clarifies the items that they have, they're gonna vote on, and if they ask a question, you get them a response too. That's part of our obligation. And so that's very important for us to do that. And so with that said, I am gonna ask one of the members of my team, our Assistant Superintendent for Finance, to come up and clarify this particular item, because there was some information that has come to us from the appraisal district, I believe, and that we want to share with the general community with regards to the approval, the recommendation for the approval of the no new revenue tax rate and motor approval tax rate. So, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez. So good evening, board president, board members, community members. I want to clarify this item because when we came in June, we didn't have our final appraisal roll from the Bexar County. So we are now in September and we're bringing back the tax rate for the board's final approval. So in June 17th specifically, we brought to the board an estimated tax rate of less than $1, 0.98625. Now that we have the final appraisal roll, what we're recommending is a